One.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time you're joining us, the cousins, thank you for doing so. Welcome back to the Call Your Cousins podcast, a now tangible group chat of cousins that wanted to share our thoughts, humor, and growth with the world, and everyone's invited. I'm joined today by my co-host P, Miss Joy, and the research team. We got a pretty good episode for y'all today. This is our inaugural live show. So if you're here, thank you. And we hope y'all enjoy. Uh, so I
What's
think,
up, fam?
pardon me?
I said, what's up, fam?
Oh, that's twin, y'all. Who else we got here? We got the research
Hey,
team here. Hey,
what up?
P Money on the line. P Money on the line.
P Money always on the line, money on the line always at all times. Um, yeah, we just some cousins. We trying to get to it. We gonna keep it real for y'all at all times. Bring y'all information, bring our opinions, everything. What we got going for them today, P Money?
Well. I think we should talk about what people can expect from the show. Since we're brand new, we are adding ourselves to the podcast world. Um, we have a lot of different types of content we like to create, that we like to bring to the table. For the most part, we just want to really welcome you guys to the show. It's fitting that our first debut episode, King Deserves Better, came out a couple weeks ago. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. But firstly, let's kick it off. With celebrating Black History Month. I feel like, or we are big believers in Black history being 365 days of greatness, right? And so I think it's important that as you go through our show, you understand a little bit about not only the content that we have, but us, as we navigate through all the different areas of life. In a year of just learning, growing, we're going to be uplifting each other up every single day. So please join us, embrace us. But our biggest segment, or I would say the one thing that every podcast that you listen to has covers to some degree, especially among Black folks, is the current, what's going on, what's in the news. Our chat, our cousin chat, is actually based on a real life chat that we have with four generations of cousins. And it really started off with one of our cousins would always go into the chat with "Good morning, fam." Now, I don't know if she just likes to say good morning to people. Maybe she's a morning person, but it would hit without fail. And then it would always then follow up with someone talking about something current in the news, or a lot of us are into sports. Some of us are into Black love. Some of us are, on Twitter. Some of us on Facebook. You would just see this collective amount of content that would start to unfold. And so that's kind of what we're talking about when you think about Good Morning Fam. You can always expect for us to go through not only, like I already mentioned, music, sports. We're obviously going to cover politics, things that we debate about, not only amongst ourselves, but what's debatable in Black culture. And there's a couple other segments out there that we cover. So why don't y'all just tune in? What you got, twin?
What's up, y'all? I got a few segments that I want to weigh in on. We're not going to do it every single time, but the first one, booming Black business of the day. On this podcast, we want to uplift Black people and Black businesses and, talk about mess too, but it's also a positive mission and vision. So Sometimes I'm gonna put a spotlight on a Black business that I've experienced, and I feel like I love their mission and their goals, what I like about it, a peek into some of their numbers. You know what, how much a hot dog going for, you know, how many followers they got. So I'll be talking about that sometimes. We also have twins tech tips, just various useful technology tips, from maybe shortcuts on your MacBook because it's much different than Windows, to even good digital footprint practices. Like y'all be putting all y'all business on social media, you know, and the Fed's coming. So I want to help y'all out a bit so that if you involved in a cult or something, you know, you can hide that. The Feds ain't gonna come find you. Also, 40 Acres and a Mule. We're going to talk about that later since this Black History Month. I'm going to expound upon that later in the show. And then we have Shot O'Clock. So if you got any special occasions, any achievements, any accomplishments, somebody had you effed up, or you just had a great day, you know, let's take a shot. Take a shot with me. And then I'm going to contribute to another segment we have, which I'm going to let research team delve into, but red flags, okay? Because there's people out here just living life and ruining other people's lives. And I want to highlight what's a red flag that maybe somebody don't need to be in your life no more. Family, friends, significant other, work, anybody, any relationship. I want to highlight some red flags so you can find your peace.
I definitely have something to add. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Research team.
Yeah.
Go ahead, research team.
Well, hey y'all, hey. Um, the segment that I love to talk about and that I'm 10 toes down about on a daily is living, learning, and loving while Black. This segment really focuses on Black love, Black family dynamics, Black structure, Black history, current old, Black education, books. So everything basically that has to do with being Black, loving while Black, living while Black, learning while Black, which does involve relationships, platonic, romantic, friendships, how we show up for each other in the world. So, yeah.
And I'm personally going to be calling that segment 3L Dub.
Reeled up. Yeah.
Y'all know what we talking about. Living, learning, and loving while Black.
Love that, love that. So we pretty much got something for everybody. Everybody, literally. As you can, well, you ain't hear yet, but P is like our revolutionary, you know, super strong, like
Black Panther.
Malcolm
yeah.
X.
Oh, and I did want to say, twin, very proud of you. Your words. Twin is a little loose with the lips, but we're gonna try to keep it as PC for y'all as we can. PC and PG. Both.
That is so true. Great job. I didn't
Right.
even.
Yeah,
Clap it up,
she
y'all. Clap it
tried.
up.
She said effed up. Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shot for that.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I got the crown with me.
Hey.
Shot o'clock.
This is not an ad. This is not an ad.
This is not an ad. At 11, we taking that crown.
We are not sponsored by Crown Royale
Yet.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's fine.
Right. Well, it'd be 5:45 somewhere. But actually, wherever you're joining us, thank you for doing so. All right, P Money. What's up, man? What's up with this? Where we going? Where we going to take them first?
I feel like since it's still a bit fresh, we can go on and crack it off with music. What's going on with the Stallion and Cocaine Bear?
Why is everybody calling Nicki Cocaine? I think we should put some respect on Nicki's name.
I have personally indulged in the cocaine, and the behavior is kind of given. It's kind of given that.
Folks, this really is a live broadcast. This
Y'all
is
forgot already.
cut raw, no pun intended.
I forgot already.
Please do not, Barbs, do not come for any of us.
Y'all can come for
Barbs.
me. Y'all broads, come for me. B.
Okay, so you've had some fun on that little train, twin. What were you going to finish with?
I'm just saying, what's going on? What's going on? I mean, I feel like besides the crack, the music wasn't music for me. Side note, I have never tried crack, so let's just put that out there.
What Whitney said about crack?
It's whack.
I don't do crack. I do.
That's a bar.
Okay. Crack is for pores. All right. But yeah,
Is
the
it?
music, it is. I mean, if somebody with money, why would you cut pure Coke with baking soda?
Whoever's joining us, we are not going to do a deep dive on crack.
We're not.
But
I'm just saying, if you got the money,
you need cocaine to make crack.
You do. But why would I? If I have money, can I just stop at the Coke? Anyway.
Back to Meg and Nick.
The music part to me was trash, besides the drugs or whatever. I love a good diss record. I love a good rap beef, especially amongst, very talented people. And I just felt like, nah. And it actually made me, we talked about Gag City last week. It made me not want to listen to the album for real. Because I'm like, is Nicki not, has she lost it? Is the talent gone?
I will say I was disappointed as well, because like for hip hop, that's kind of like the basis of it. It's like you go back and forth, y'all have, your bar, my bar, and we kind of go tit for tat. I don't know if she knew what was going on, but it was her time to kind of like step up, be the queen that she claims to be this, 10 toes down, I'm about this life. And she really didn't match the energy. Shout out to Meg though. She did that.
Shout out to the
I'm
high.
gonna be honest. Well, clearly this collective is a bit biased. Me being unbiased, because that was found misogynistic if I said that, so I won't say it. But I've only heard each song in bits and pieces. Personally, Nicki raps much better than Meg. It was disappointing. So, pardon me?
Get you off the live.
You want to kick me out?
Yeah, that's not.
This is your live, but it's my live too, so you can't. This is a joint venture. What I was gonna say is, I think Nicki's might have been just kind of a warm up, like I got something more in a tuck for you, but I'm gonna just give you this. So it's like I'm gonna give this to the fans. It's like little scraps, you know what I'm saying?
No, but see, why are we giving her that grace though? Because first of all, the whole song wasn't even about you, and you came out with an entire diss record off of one line that maybe was not about you, allegedly. So you got to come out with some fire. Don't be giving me no freaking.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's like if you got one line for me, you got that energy for me. So I'm going to come with a whole song about you because I wasn't talking about you.
But it got to be fire though.
It don't have to be fire.
It do though. If the song you're responding to is fire.
All right, what's the most recent rap beef that was like highly publicized in the last 10 years?
Drake and Pusha T.
What was bigger than that?
Nicki and Lil Kim.
No, Drake and Meek.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Wow. Wow. Anyway,
You forgot about that.
but what did Drake do? Drake put out a little teaser. He put out that one song before Back to Back. He put out Charged Up. He was like, okay, this is cool. This is all right. You know what I'm saying?
Pusha T beef?
Pardon me?
Wasn't that the Pusha T beef?
No, that's me. That was 2015 or 16.
Okay, now I hear what you're saying.
I'm
but
Charged Up. You remember that?
Song, but that was a good song though.
Which one?
Charged Up. It wasn't like he
But,
came out with the
but
heat,
what I'm saying is anything Drake, well, I won't say anything, but most songs that Drake makes are going to be good songs. He can't, it's difficult for him to make a bad song that you just won't like at all. So when he put Charged Up, everybody was kind of like, all right, this is cool. It ain't like a diss record, but you know what I'm saying? And then what happened? Meek didn't respond, and then Drake came back, what, a week later, 2 weeks later, with Back to Back.
But Charged Up to me was like a 6, and Back to Back was like a 10.
Right. So
Big
I'm saying
like a 2 to me.
I'm saying right, but I'm saying what I'm saying is Drake and Nicki come from the same camp, right?
Right.
So maybe she's taking a little page out of Drake's book. All right, I'm gonna give him just a little morsel. You know what I'm saying? Let them eat on that for a second, and then I think it's something else in the tuck. That's just me personally.
I don't think so. And if it is, we don't want to hear it after hearing Bigfoot. That's how I feel.
Well,
P Money, you be quiet. And another aspect of this is, though, for real, did we need a diss track from Nicki? Because the song was really about a bunch of ninjas. It was really coming at them. It was just one line for Nicki. And then you really got mad and went on a rant and made a song that was the same as the rant. It's just like, it's giving lazy to me, girl. If you the queen of rap.
But you got to look at it like this, twin. I never put you in a song. Well, I don't know that because I don't listen to either of them. That's just me personally. Sorry, y'all. Don't none of y'all come for me. Come for me. The hotties, the bars, whatever y'all call yourselves. But if you say one line about me in a rap, as big as you are, as big as Meg is, everybody's gonna hear it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say one line about me and me not say anything.
But it gotta be fire though. Or at least a little spark of the match. I just didn't. I feel like you need to listen to both end to end.
I don't want to.
I feel like you, because me and Bay was having this discussion, and I was like, you got to listen to both end to end for you to. I feel like to really get the gist. You know what I'm saying? Why you don't want to, Dub?
I just don't have enough time today, or tomorrow, or this week. So
or ever,
probably ever in perpetuity.
Wow. To listen to a 3-minute song. Okay. What y'all got? Research team P Money?
Well, I'm not like a barb or a hottie, but I did listen and I was just like, man, this is not I didn't think it was gonna go down like that. I thought it was gonna be like a tit for tat, like some real creative artistry type thing, like where we could really build upon it for like the culture and really just have some quality entertainment. But that did not happen.
I think that's a good segue into, so Meg, they were going back and forth posting their different numbers and how they were charting and all that stuff. Y'all, it's really hard to censor myself. Anyway, all those things, and Meg came out saying she had a new deal, owning her masters. And P and Dub, y'all had a very spirited debate in the chat the other day. Would you like to continue
It wasn't that spirited, and it wasn't that long.
It was
Look at you
not.
capping again. That's
That's
crazy.
that's what y'all was
But
talking about? Because I was like
That
lost.
cap
I
that
said,
cap
what?
game
I'm putting y'all on mute.
Because you was
that
in
cap
Quebec.
game.
Okay.
That was a big blue cap. She just was walking around with a big blue cap
What?
on.
Like 10
that, that,
messages back to back.
that
Really?
big cap
Correct. I was
right now,
eating.
Ellen DeGeneres with that big blue cap.
Wow. Wow.
Took it back.
Wow.
Took it back.
Really?
Because I opened my text to like 10 messages. That's a spirited debate to me.
Nah,
I
No?
agree.
nah.
So
Thank
what?
you.
So
You know how I get in the cousin chat. Like it could get spirited. That wasn't spirited. That was.
You're right. You're right.
I think what I personally was a little confused about was her saying it's the first of its kind. Like, in my opinion, obviously we don't know the inner workings of the deal or whatever. But her saying the first of its kind, come on now, the music business been around for what 80, 90, more than that years. And what I was saying was I'm pretty sure Baby Slim and not Baby Slim, but Baby and Slim as in Cash Money.
I
there
was really
probably
about to
there
say
probably is an artist
who
Oh,
Baby
called
baby,
Baby
stop.
Slim.
Slim?
I'm sure there's an artist out there called Baby Slim, but Baby and Slim, Cash Money, and Master P. I'm pretty sure they had these same deals or something similar to them in the 90s with Universal, because they had like something like 90-10 splits or something like that, is from what I've seen, which is why they were able to make like 2, 3, 400 million in such a short amount of time, and nobody else got them deals ever again. So for
But
Meg to say,
were
pardon?
they with a big distribution company?
Yes, of course. Like you can be independent, but somebody has to. Well, especially back then, somebody had to distribute your music, because it was all like hand to hand. It was plastic. You had to buy a CD back then. There was no streaming. Um,
And I
but what I
and
was saying was, I'm pretty sure they had these same type of deals back then.
and and so I think where the debate lied or foundationally was in one. I think her saying it, Meg, that it was the first deal of its kind was going into what you're talking about, which is the distribution aspect, and
Right.
how most times when getting the distribution in a way that is favorable to the artist, right? And you guys are talking about males. She's a black woman, right? And the only probably the only
That's
one
true.
close to that would be Beyonce, right? And Rock Nation, because I believe she's consolidated now with them. And again, we don't know the inner workings. We're not um specialists on this matter. We're critiquing within context what she posted, right? Which is she had a rough time getting out of her deals previously, right? And shout out to Rock Nation for helping her through that process, right? Because I think that that's the important part, was that she was recognized for the talent she was and the big business acumen that she possesses, and was able to not only navigate herself out of that situation. I mean, that's where her last album came from. She owed them that album, and she had to, and she, so I say that to say that you're seeing somebody take ownership and agency over their creative work, and that is very rare. So one, let's go ahead and just congratulate her. Leave the debating to those who um, are in that field and are trying to figure out how the heck did she get that deal in the first place. But more importantly, that there is room for Black creators, specifically Black women, to have ownership, retain their masters, have pure transparency on what they're doing from an artistry standpoint and how they're putting their product out. Because the only other person I know that is a woman of color that may be independent is Young MA. I think she's the only other one, to
Yep.
be honest.
Throwback.
Yes. And so, and I mean that's why when she's saying that, I don't think Meg would just say something like that. She can't, right? Like she has so much public scrutiny around her that and then also that goes back into the nastiness of how her Hiss and Bigfoot beef plays out, right? Is where we don't understand why beef has to be toxic. And we will in the show cover areas of mental health and family trauma specific to Black people because of, situations like this where it's like, what is triggering you to say these things about another Black woman? That's how I walk away from it. That's how it lands. And I think you brought up a good point, Twin, is I love Gag City. And now I don't want to go there. I don't.
I'm good. Let me. I don't need to be here.
When I heard a
Did Key
cocaine
Money's
bear,
mouth get loose a little bit just there?
no, it's just when I heard a cocaine bear start babbling on a beat. By the way, No Bars by JT. I don't know who actually owns that beat, but it was so disrespectful to even get on JT. Shout out to JT. We love you. To get on her No Bars beat, because why did you just get on that beat and just ramble? Okay? Ramble.
Thank
And
you for
like I said,
clarifying, because I definitely was thinking of JT Money, but thank you.
no, it was
Yeah,
JT.
yeah,
Shout out to the
yeah,
crib. Shout out to the crib.
yeah.
Yeah, JT of the City Girls. But that's what I feel that I cannot confirm or deny if the barb was there, but I can confirm I heard a cocaine bear. I did hear that.
I did as
Now
well.
that we brought that up, wow, we got two famous rappers named JT from the crib.
Oh wow, I never noticed that, and that's our cousin name. Oh,
Nobody cares about our cousin.
you're right.
Right,
We do.
right, right.
We love you, girl.
This one over here, twin be off the chain with it. But let's go ahead and keep it moving,
Wait.
cause
I just wanted to read this because to me, this is the difference between them old deals and this one. I'm doing research team job. Okay, so it says
Wow.
the agreement will
Don't take
enable.
research team back in during Black History Month. That's crazy.
I love you.
I didn't want to say anything. I appreciate you having my back, because I was like, wow, I
Thank you.
didn't.
Always.
I
Shots
mean,
fired.
y'all know what happened when that crown come out. That's we're talking to.
Okay. Started it off with the cognac. Okay. This agreement will enable a Houston native to maintain her independence as a musician while also having access to the music company's robust global services, ranging from radio promotion to marketing worldwide. Basically, that translates to the artist being able to use Warner Music's distribution and resources moving forward, all while still retaining full ownership of her masters and publishing. So to me, I feel like perhaps the global aspect and the reach of the deal might be a bit different than those past. Again, I didn't research those, so don't quote me on any of this, guys. But to me, it's the global and the reach of it that makes it like a bit different from those other ones. But just reading it out there so we all on the same page. But you're right. So let's segue into we still in new music. We can just run through new music. Last time my guy BG came home. What's up, BG? He got his new song, Say My Grace. I listened to it.
I love BG.
I like it, man. My
I'm
dog
glad
was
he home.
stuff. Welcome home, BG.
Welcome back, BG. He came from a good time in music. Well, we were all fairly young, you know what I'm
I was
saying?
not. That I would say
No, when he went in, we was grown, yeah, but I'm saying he come from that late 90s cash money. I'm saying he come from that era. That's what I'm saying.
sir. My
Ma'am,
first rap,
ma'am.
the first rap album I ever purchased with my money was Lil Wayne, The Block Is Hot. Previously, before that, I wasn't allowed. Yes,
The
I was
block is
not. The block
See,
is hot.
I knew you was my cousin because the first album that I ever purchased with my money, actually I bought two at the same time. I had my step pops take me to Best Buy, and I bought
Right.
Lil Wayne, Lights Out. So the one right after Block is Hot.
Lights Out was lit too. The first one I bought was The Block is Hot too, P. I don't know how I got
I
the
caught
explicit
Lights
version.
Out. I was 10 years old, and Trick Daddy, Thugs Are Us, same time. Why he let me buy that at 10, I don't know. But shout out to him. Shout out. Appreciate it, Pops.
Shout out to Pops. What about JT, y'all? He got the new song. I kind of like it, but are we really messing with JT like that?
JT Money?
Justin Timberlake. We
Oh,
switched to white.
see? Another JT. Look at that. Why
Yeah,
everybody named JT?
I don't know.
I don't really mess with him after Janet Jackson, even though we've kind of blown over that. I ain't like that, but it is a nice song though. What y'all think? No.
What song are we talking about?
Selfish. I'm so selfish.
Oh yeah, I think it's fire.
I can't
I
help
don't know who wrote it, but it's a good song to me.
every bit of you, something like that. I like it.
One more time with the high note. One more time with the high note.
Every bit of you. That one is.
Yep, that's exactly. Yep, you sound just like him. That's crazy.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I've been taking my vocal lessons. Well, then we can go ahead and segue into Usher Bowl. Okay. I heard
Ursha.
Usher baby.
Well,
Okay.
well, hold on. I want to give a shameless plug to Club Shay. He just had a phenomenal Shannon. I hope somebody hears this because I'll go out with him. I would, he seemed like he's
had a very
funny.
good
He
month.
had a great month, and who's ever doing his show, they're doing a fantastic job, and he did a great interview with Usher. So we want to promote other Black creators, so we can go ahead and just make sure y'all check out Club Shay, Aunt Shay on YouTube as well. He did an excellent interview on Usher, because Usher been in the game so long, y'all. Like, I don't even know how we're gonna get 13 minutes of excellence, but I ain't watching that game. I know that. I ain't watching that game.
I just want to see the Usher show. And I feel like I saw somebody, people are asleep on Usher and they don't know the catalog, okay? Somebody on Twitter was like, name a Usher album other than Confessions. Huh? I feel like it's a lot of Usher disrespect going on. Like people saying, "Oh, he just be crooning. What he finna give us for the Super Bowl?" Y'all wasn't in Vegas. I just know that y'all were not at the Vegas show, baby. Because that man put on a show. I done seen Usher like 4 times, and every single time, it's a banger.
All right, so Twin, how long was the Vegas show?
I don't even know. Maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours.
So he was singing solo for 2+ hours, maybe.
He brought Miguel out for half a song. The other time it was just him.
So how does he squeeze all that catalog into 13 minutes?
Bruh.
It's gonna be fire because we know Usher, a performer.
So, I mean, his catalog is vast, so he ain't gonna get through all of them.
Yeah, it is vast. And honestly, this should have been coming to Usher. Like, he should have been at the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Which is crazy, especially with them embracing Black culture as much as they are, more than ever right now. Like, he should have been at the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. You get it when you can get it. So,
and now he's getting his flowers, and that album gonna be fire. I listened to like 4 or 5 songs off of it. The ones he gave us a little snippet. Ruin, baby. The voice is pure silk on the track. Okay, I stand for Usher. If y'all can't tell, he's a legend to me. Okay, and even at the Vegas show, it was just so ATL, y'all. Strippers on the stage, and he giving us that silky voice while he's ass in my face, and I was just like, you know what? That Usher, he know what he doing.
Man,
You know, he talked about that on Shay, and you know what? It made me realize the reason why I brought up Shay was because y'all know how last time we was on the mic, we was talking about Cat and the foolishness, and then we were talking about Usher and how Vogue tried him.
cat in the foolishness or cat in the truthfulness?
That's debatable.
All of it.
But I mean, the viewership that came out of that was incredible. So it did what it was supposed to do. The math there. But you know, I think with Usher and what he's going to bring to the table, and how Shannon allowed for him to have the space to talk about what he's going to do. Usher said exactly that, twin, where he was like, I don't remember ever going to a show feeling that way or feeling that intimate with, you know, the audience and just having a good time. Like that doesn't even exist anymore. And it's true because clearly with how you see it, how it sells out, even when he was in Paris and how he gets creative, it's just one of those things where you're like, he's giving a product to the people that you can't go get. You can't just go like I think last night, Drake and J. Cole started their new tour, and you're not gonna get that with Drake. You're not. Drake ain't even. I
Shout
mean,
out to J.
I
Cole.
love Drake and Cole, but neither are that sexy. Like Usher is sex, walking around, skating around, smoking a blunt. Like he embodies black culture and black men in a way that like you can taste it, you can feel it, you can smell it. You know. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does at the Usher Bowl.
I agree, and I was debating on going to a party, but I don't know. Ninjas be talking and drunk and stuff. I need to be fully engaged into the Usher Bowl. But that's a good segue into the culture piece. And let's just go ahead and I'm gonna skip a bit because research team, she gonna have to leave us in a bit. Let's talk about, first of all, y'all, I've been watching Love and Hip Hop. Okay. Now I know y'all know that ain't really my stilo, but for some reason I just felt like I just needed to watch some mess to get away from the mess that's in my life. Baby, that show is it's beyond. So I feel like a good segue into 3L Dub is Shay Johnson and this Fabo baby girl. Girl, what your girl doing, girl?
First of all, she's not my girl. But I do have the guilty pleasure of watching Love and Hip Hop, Miami, LA, Atlanta. And I think she's been on probably all of them, honestly. She's
Flavor
like,
Flav.
whoa, those are her roots.
Somebody, I mean,
Not Shay,
it's not me, but who is Shay Johnson?
Do you
right,
remember
okay.
Flavor Flav Bucky?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Okay, well,
Never mind. I'm gonna step out.
G Money, did you watch Flav?
You know, I don't. This is all VH1, right?
hmm
I
Yeah.
don't subscribe.
oh wow.
Okay, well,
Okay. She
research.
does too. All right, well, okay, well, for those who do know,
Right.
Sorry, guys.
I need to discuss because I went down this rabbit hole last night and I was just
oh
like,
no. Not
what?
the rabbit hole. Yeah, she started out on Flavor
What?
Flav, and then she was like a side chick to Scrappy when he was with Erica.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's just been a lot. But her current ex, future, I don't know what they are present day, but the father of her child, because I don't like to say baby daddies or baby mamas. The father of her child allegedly has a whole entire family elsewhere. She's already had one child by him, and in the latest episode, the last episode, she revealed to her mother that she was pregnant again with baby number 2. So here's clutch your pearls, guys. She said to her mom, she didn't tell her mom to get like a bad reaction because her mom was like, "Why would you go and do that?" Um, she was like, "Well, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep it." And I was just like, "Wow, like you're
Girl, you
showing."
look 5 months pregnant,
I
girl.
was gonna say I don't know what the time frame is or what the laws are now, but she looked pretty far along there. So
So this brings
I
me to
don't.
some red flags, okay?
Oh Lord,
Just for the
go
people.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because I started from back in August, girl. I had to catch up.
Oh
Wait,
wow,
sorry,
you
I
really
was having what y'all talking about?
We still talking about the love and hip hop, the people.
Oh,
This ain't
no,
us.
I'm trying to say about something I seen.
What you
Y'all
say?
What you
seen
think?
y'all didn't see Ashanti look super pregnant? I just heard the pregnancy
They
thing
do?
and I was
Boy, that is
What?
so off topic.
Oh
That's
my
what it is.
God.
Come back.
Where did Dub,
like,
where did you go? Where were you?
I
No,
told
I
you
want to know where he went. Where
I
did
told you
Dub
my
go?
coffee got cold. I had to go get.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Here I
I'm over
go.
here
I'm
drinking cold tea. Anyway, red flag number 1, people. If you got to give somebody 365 days to marry you, just leave.
Oh,
Okay? Just leave. And then when the man talk about he want to get you pregnant again, but he ain't ready for marriage because Jamaican men, they don't know about that. Just leave, girl. It's not giving baby number 2. And red flag number 2 is you're not gonna disrespect my mama at all. But in
family.
public,
The
in front of
family.
people, at my baby party,
I, I apologize,
I
y'all.
gotta fight you.
Twin getting a little animated. You
Okay.
see her mic going in and out. She done
My bad.
elevated her voice.
Get excited. I get excited. That's red flag number 2. Can't nobody disrespect my mama. Okay. And that's the part that really made me
Facts
sick
ever.
to my stomach. What? If somebody's screaming at your mama talking about F this, F that, I gotta fight you myself. I don't care if you 6'5" or whatever. I didn't like that. And then I found out she having baby number 2. Girl, I mean, we knew you wasn't well because you was on
Allegedly.
Pave, but yeah, we don't
Allegedly.
know because she posted that picture of her flat stomach, and I was confused. Anyway, people are unwell, and I will be tuning in for the foolishness.
Long story long.
I will be there, okay? And that's
Speaking
also a
of,
good segue into
I was gonna say, speaking of
the
unwell. Speaking of unwell.
speaking of unwell people and red flags. Krishan Rock?
Blueface?
First of all, I didn't even know he was in jail, y'all.
Yeah, child. I think that may be best for him currently. You just, give him some time to think. But I know y'all saw the face tattoo.
I saw
He ate up
Where was the face tattoo?
on her.
I did see it, but
on her
just
face.
for our listeners,
Oh, okay. It was on her. You're right. It was on her cheek, like her whole, like her eye, her cheek, jaw, the whole thing of Blueface's face.
Pretty much taking up the
so she
entire
had
right
a
side.
blue face. She had a blue face
She put a
on
new blue face
her
on her
face.
face, not
Blue
her.
face on
The
new
way
face.
everybody,
Or was it a
the way
new blue
everybody's
face on her
struggling
face?
She had one on her neck, right? Then she
on her
got that
throat,
covered up on her
on her
throat.
throat.
Got that covered up, and now she put it on her face. But people were saying maybe it's fake. What y'all think?
Either way, like even if it is fake, like the clout generation, like this is wild. Even if it's fake, like you're doing that to take a picture and post it. Stop it.
I think he put some voodoo on her. Shout out to my voodoo listeners. Don't put no voodoo on me. But he had to because, And y'all saw that
I
people was
don't think voodoo is a religion or culture, but
it's
never
a
mind.
practice.
It's a spiritual practice for sure.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I don't. I mean,
We know that from the crib for sure.
I think no, I think Dub, you bring up an excellent point, which is the clout, right? And clout is a interesting cocktail with ignorance, and that is what they have cooked up. And and honestly, um, I want to wish her some help and some love and some care, because that is a very toxic situation that we oftentimes in the real world, not the sorority world. I mean, not sorority, the celebrity world, that doesn't exist, right? Where it always ends badly. So, uh, yeah, because I cannot understand why you tattoo a face on a face that doesn't land
Of a
anywhere.
face.
It'd be the
Like
way people be saying
it
stuff.
just it don't land nowhere. No matter how I try to justify her doing it, it does not land anywhere. And
Just,
if the landing point is clout, then that makes sense. That's the only place it really can live.
It
yeah.
can't be anything more than clout, because obviously we come from a time of, hey, if you love somebody, you tell them you love them. You might get a little name tat or whatever, but getting their face tattooed on your face, come on now.
But what is the clout part?
Why is it on social media?
Right, but like, how does that get you clout though? Or is it just attention? Like, do we feel like she just wants attention at any cost?
No, this is how these particular individuals make their money. They make their money from clicks and views and all this stuff. So if it's fake, okay, I'm gonna tattoo a fake blue face on my face.
Mm.
Which, I mean, even after that, you seen somebody else like a super fan, a super blue face fan, which is crazy. Like how you, never mind. Tattoo his face on her butt cheek or something like that, which is,
Well,
Wait,
didn't
it's
what?
just clout.
Wait,
didn't
what?
because the same thing happened
Yes.
with the face name of who's that guy that was sleeping with that OnlyFans girl, and she went
This does
crazy.
not narrow it down.
Right,
But she
right.
put Zion. Remember, she put his name on her face.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Zion Williamson.
Whoa.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she
She
she was
did that.
exposing
She
him for like
did
a week
that.
or two. You're right.
Yeah. No, it went on for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
She,
She was
yeah.
mad that he got another OnlyFans, a pornography woman, pregnant and kind of put her to the wayside or something like that. It was something like that.
It's too
Child,
much.
help
It's
him,
too much.
child. Let's just all put our hands together in prayer, okay? And pray that the cocaine bear joins these people in a self journey on improving and not bringing toxicity to the rest of the culture. Amen. And that's not a good segue, but RIP to Carl Weathers, man. What a horrible way to start Black History Month, okay? I love my dude in Predator, okay? That's my movie. I've seen that movie about 10 times. Rocky, The Mandalorian, RIP my guy, man. We love you.
Yeah, that was a awful
76.
segue. Um, I remember Buddy as Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. That's
F you, Doug.
what.
You have to point it out, okay? We were just gonna move on like that was a smooth transition.
That's Chubbs that had the fake hand in Happy Gilmore. That's where I know him from. That was my first recollection of
Dang,
him.
I
Who?
forgot about
Carl?
that.
Yes, rest in peace. He taught Happy everything he knew.
He did. R.I.P. dude. Now, your girl got caught in a relationship. Miss Willis, the DA.
Did we
What
put
y'all
that in the
think? I
chat?
thought it
We
was a
put
lie
that
at
in,
first. I thought they were
yeah,
just
because
trying to
I was gonna
slang mud
say
on my girl name.
we put it in the
Same.
Huh?
we put it in the chat.
What you think, P?
we definitely put it in the chat weeks ago. Um, and yeah, I can't call it. I don't know what you know, y'all already know I don't like the prosecution of black men when it comes to their lyrics. So I have already a lot of issues there. And
Yeah.
then
Okay,
roping them
so you
into RICO
biased in this
charges.
case.
I'm biased in the sense that you can't go, I don't understand, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again. I don't understand how Donald J. Trump is walking around free and Young Thug is a flight risk. At least if
Well,
y'all was gonna have him going to jail, why he can't show up like everybody else and keep giving us good music? Because at the end of the day, if you watch the trial or you cover it, and Meg the reporter has been on the case. Shout out to I think her name is Megan Cunningham or something like that, but Meg the reporter, everybody know her as. She said it's been a mess. She said it's a mess. And, a lot of times in these prosecution cases, it's so political. And that's where my issue lies, to be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah, well, I hope it doesn't tank the case too much because you know how they do. They don't like her anyway. So, I mean, it's not a good look. So, I'm just hoping it's still a positive outcome, Send that nigga to jail.
Well, the positive outcome would be freeing Thugger and doing a mistrial, period. So that's literally what should happen. But we'll see. We'll
That
see.
ain't gonna happen. They not even releasing non-violent people because they want to keep that prison labor up. But I'm not even gonna get into that part. We're gonna pray for our
I
dude.
think this is a very deep. There's so many caveats to
Yeah.
this, right? She shouldn't have did that.
Agree.
I'm gonna just say it straight out. And like, there's reason to say that there was nepotism in it. Obviously, they're not related or whatever. But in my opinion, this is Dub's opinion. Hey, Dub, I don't think there's any room for favoritism in the justice system.
I agree.
Personally, it don't matter who they got locked up or who they want to get out. That's my opinion. Like, I think it should be by the book, and you know what I'm saying? But that's me.
I agree.
You should not have anybody that you are personally involved with working on a case with you.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
It's a terrible look.
Because how do you prove it? Like
And it's right.
conflict of interest? You can't
And
prove that. How do we know what y'all were talking about when y'all was in the bed?
Right. And it's not that he's not the best person for the job, but we don't know that he is.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like he was put in that position. Obviously, he's not the main prosecutor in the case because Fanny is.
Yeah.
But as help, it makes it seem like he's just there collecting a check. We don't know what he's doing. So, and that's my opinion. Dub. But that's me.
I feel you, bro. Well, let's just hope that it doesn't taint the case too much. It's Black History Month, y'all. Tyrese said he wish he was born Latino.
Tyreek?
I think that was an appropriate moment of silence.
Yeah, Tyrese say a lot of stuff, so he says so many things at this point in his life. So I'm gonna
Okay,
moving right.
Here's a real question for y'all. When was the last time Tyrese was right or in his right mind?
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. But do we think he is unwell? Because I don't know if it's giving drugs. It's just giving misguided.
No, unwell don't always mean drugs, though.
That's what
No,
I'm saying. Do we think he's unwell or what's happening?
I think he's gone down though. He's down there with Alice and the rabbit, and
Yeah.
you know, he might have ate a couple things on the way down there, but I think misguided would be the most appropriate thing to say, and a lot of people are. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
single out him because so many people walk around misinformed, misguided. For example, you know, when we think about how over the course of this year we're going to cover politics, so many people are misinformed. Misinformation is just incredible.
Yeah.
And so I just, I think that when we're looking at it from that kind of lens, I have a little empathy there because to say he's not in his right mind, it would suggest that he has mental health issues, which I don't know and I can't diagnose anyone, and I'm not going to put someone in that box. But the comments themselves probably are taken so far out of context because he doesn't. What platform does Therese have? He don't sing no more, which
Yeah.
is where I kind of liked his space, and you
I
know he
like
doesn't. Yeah, I liked him as a singer. He doesn't, you know, I liked him as a actor, and he doesn't really live in those spaces anymore.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I saw him on R&B Money and he definitely has opinion. I think sometimes I think being in the game for so long, especially starting out young, I think it can kind of warp you a bit. But I don't know. I'm not famous or rich, so good luck to all involved.
Yet,
That's correct. You're right. Yes, I don't want to be famous. The famous part, I don't know about that, but I'll take the riches. So I would like to transition since the last one was terrible. I'm gonna just go ahead and straightforward into the next segment. Since
I
it's
was
Black
gonna,
History Month, what'd you say?
I was gonna say, uh, Doug, you gonna let her handle the next transition?
Right. You know what? Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just hilarious
I'm gonna be
because the way
quiet.
you just the you know how he get. Sometimes he goes in his little. He probably left. He's probably in another verse, a multiverse, metaverse right now. You will be having full conversations with Doug, and Doug will leave the conversation
You
and
will.
not be there. So that's a real thing. But I think we can trust you with
Wow.
the next bit of Black history, facts, news,
Yeah,
goodies.
I did want to give a bit. I know we're talking pop culture, but I want to bring it back to the culture, Black people. It's Black History Month, and drop a bit of knowledge on us. So one of our segments is called 40 Acres and a Mule, and it talks about overcoming broken promises by white people and learning to thrive on our own. So it's going to give us a peek into like Black mental health and how things affect us and how we can build our own generational wealth and like the interconnection between health and wealth, because I feel like that's kind of a disconnect between us. And I have a topic to talk about that I feel like will highlight that. But I want to give a brief background onto how I came up with the title because this was kind of news to me. So we all know that we were promised, Black people, 40 acres and a mule after the Civil War, right? That obviously never happened. But this idea actually came from 20 Black leaders from a Savannah church. They met with the Union General and I forgot the other dude, the Secretary of War. They met with him and decided, hey, y'all owe us some reparations. We need 40 acres and a mule. So this wasn't even come up with by white people. It was us. It was us looking out for our own people and being like, hey, bro, y'all owe us. And so they agreed, and then Lincoln got assassinated Andrew Johnson came in and he was basically like, F that. So we became sharecroppers, which I don't know if we all know, but that was basically slavery, just getting paid pennies. We didn't really get a share of the crops that we were supposed to, and I feel like it denied us stability and the ability to establish ourselves financially and have some assets and be self-sufficient. And it really had significant impacts on our mental health and our ability to trust anybody at all, specifically white people. And so I'm calling this segment this so we can, as a family, help each other and close the gap between, mental health and how we start to create our own spaces, because white people ain't gonna do it. They weren't even gonna give us no reparations. And so with that being said, I would like to bring up Keith Lee going to the
Well,
sweetly seasoned food truck in Dallas.
yeah. So, Twin, I love this segment, and I can't wait for us to continuously expand the conversations around it because, as you know, being a historian of post-Reconstruction
Yes.
era of the Civil War, what happened in America, you're absolutely right. This was a real revolutionary idea from and generated from Black leaders themselves. But more
Yeah.
importantly, it really came from the concept of approximately 4,000 acres of formerly owned Confederate land and how they really wanted to kind of redistribute that to former Black slaves. Because in reality, if you think about it, and I can't wait for us to really dig into the trenches on this, it really, came down to they were already, when you have people in chains, right? It's like if they were in pens, and then you give them their freedom. Well, where are they going to go? And for the
Right.
most part, depending on, you had obviously the extreme areas of slavery. We're talking about the most brutal and brutality measures that were taken. But then you had on the flip side some areas of slavery that was no form of slavery or enslavement is okay, first and foremost, but it was more of a co-working network. And that's how they met at sharecropping, right? Because in reality, it's almost like they did the math and did the math, them being the Southerners,
Mm-hmm.
and they was like, oh, nah.
Nah. It was
They
like,
was like,
nah,
it
bro.
was like, nah, we can't do it. And so, because even when they being the whites that they took this agreement to, the 40 acres was given in the order, but really not even the mule. The mule was actually promised. So it's this whole notion of Black people, once given their freedom, right, always being given the short end of the stick, given the shortcomings of what they are worth, what they deserve. And more importantly, you had a nation that had no idea to do with a people who had been, disenfranchised, removed from their country, removed from their identity, and they had no plan for them. But you look at that time in post Civil War, and you really understand that slavery, however, was had become so much of the brutal side, so inhumane, that um, there was no choice, right,
Right.
for us to go to war. Because at the end of the day, you're having these exploitations of Black people in a way that is so egregious and just, it's interesting that even when we think about politics today, that they aren't talking about it enough. When a politician says, well, slavery isn't real and it doesn't exist and racism isn't real. And it's quite um it's quite disturbing, to be honest, because it's American history, right? Like if you go along the areas of where the major battles were fought in the Civil War, it's like a thing,
Yeah.
right? It's a whole thing that, you know, that
Great
democracy
point,
was
G
that
Nasty, in the chat. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
that democracy literally was saved to some measure. But not to really get off topic, but I think I want viewers to understand that you taking us as a collective, taking the time to really understand what these things mean, what was the history behind it, what was the root, and then the pitfall of not having any accountability towards it after is really important, because like you said, after Abraham Lincoln was killed, well, assassinated, that guy was a sympathizer of the South, Andrew Johnson.
Yeah.
So Andrew was
He
like, oh
did it.
no, because
Yeah.
he did the math. He
Correct.
did the math. And essentially, the land that was all confiscated, good old South Carolina, good old Georgia, and good old Florida, went
Who's
right
Andrew
back
Johnson? I
to
thought it was John Wilkes Booth. No,
no, no. Andrew Johnson succeeded Abraham Lincoln,
Yeah.
sweetie.
I thought you were talking about who
Killed
assassinated
him.
Abraham. I apologize.
No, we already established, Dub, that you kind of sometimes. We're glad you're back. Welcome back. We're glad you're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
But I think this is a great segment. I can't wait for us to really get into the weeds of it, especially during this election process of 2024, because it's important. And like I said, this is American history. This is not Black history, okay? This is American history, and it's well documented. So when your local politician and you're in the South says egregious things that there was no slavery, well, then please tell me, what was General William T. Sherman's Special Field Order of Number 15, issued on January 16th, 1865?
Come on with the facts.
That's
And
all. That's all. That's all. When people come for us, it's American history. You can go look it up. It's actually in the history books, not like the ones that they're banning. No, like in DC, like Washington, DC. Your taxes pay to preserve them, these histories.
yeah,
Continue on, twin.
it's there. And I feel like it's important because not only do white people not know, I think a lot of Black people aren't really that familiar with a lot of our history, because we be talking about reparations. They owe us reparations. They didn't want to give us that in the first place, and they made sure that they didn't. So
Reparations is a hot word. Yeah.
yes, and it's like, do y'all even know where that came from? We are never getting reparations, ever. Let me say that again for
Never,
people in the back.
never,
We are
never.
never.
Ever. And I have something to add to that when you're
Go ahead, Doug.
did y'all see the article about the city of New York securing $183 million for Holocaust descendants?
Wow.
Yes. And you know what? I'm a curve that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm a curve it because
I'm not saying they deserve it, but I don't think they deserve it from the American people. That's my opinion.
No. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
They
That's
deserve it, but
yes.
if
Yes.
the American people are giving it to them, then we
anti-Semitic.
deserve it as well.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic or anything.
Yeah,
But
no.
America needs to make whole the people that they specifically effed over, Native Americans who don't even exist anymore, and Black
Facts.
people. Like, why are we giving
Native Americans was us too.
Yeah. Like, America needs to make us whole again before we even start talking about any of that.
I think one, so it is accurately prescribed, because I'm sure the lawyers and everyone involved made sure it was a number that felt justly right for that community, which is acceptable. But I think what you guys are thinking of it in out of historical context prior to World War II, you had World War One, and before that, the Civil War. And when we're thinking about American history, and people being in having human conflict, right? And so I think that it feels so far behind because, like you said, Twin, people are just not really educated on the Civil War. They have no idea of how many lives were lost. It was one of the deadliest wars in U.S. history. So, and that's why as we continue to go through these issues of democracy with the rise of Trumpism, let me tell you something. If it goes down again, something of that kind of magnitude where you're having that type of conflict between nations and a nation within itself is basically what you're describing when you say they need to make us whole too, is, well, we can't even get them to be accountable to what happened. That's the difference between what happened in the Holocaust and what happened to us in the diaspora. So the first step is getting everybody on the same page, because at the end of the day, they made sure everyone was on the same page, they being the survivors of the Holocaust, because as a human issue, it could never happen again on the scale that it happened, how fast it happened, ever, right? But it probably would have never happened, right, if people knew what happened to Africa. But Germany and all the European powers were very much involved in what happened in Africa. Because as we know, in World War II, we had to fight them out of Africa, right? So it's a deeper conversation that requires so much more layers of understanding. But so, yes, we can see an article like that and we can go, man, as a Black person, I completely feel unseen. My ancestors feel unseen, unheard. Our voices are not there, are muted, right? But now you have to just keep the conversation going, because little things with even the diaspora and how that impacts us in America, we don't know. On a conversational basis, no clue. No one. Start asking 10 to 20 people what they know about what happened in slavery, and they can't tell you. That's why you can have a presidential candidate go around and say ridiculous things that slavery never happened or it doesn't exist, right? Because people can't talk to it, they can't speak to it. Where when you look at the Holocaust and you see the photos and you see the images, you can't deny it wasn't real. Whereas, not to say there is not that evidence in the diaspora in slavery in America, which there is, but the scale at which people are going to accept it is never going to be something until we as a people continue to hammer down the fact that it is a fact. These are facts. This happened. But I don't think it is in the form of reparations. We're never going to see those. But we can be a revolutionary people within America.
That's a bet. I'm still mad though.
Yeah, and I don't think people really understand that, like, we can be a body, a movement for real.
We had our own Black Wall Street, which I ain't gonna get too deep into it because we got a special Black History Month episode on the 22nd, y'all. February 22nd. Come listen. We're gonna be talking our stuff. But I agree, P, and I think that's a good segue this time, Dub, into something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, let me just say I love Keith Lee and I love what he's doing for the culture, and probably from a different perspective. I feel like he's highlighting good businesses, but I feel like he's also, without even trying, highlighting some of the issues that we have in our Black community when it comes to business. And this latest thing that happened, I was just like, this is why I feel like this is why a lot of Black people become successful and then just go on about their way and don't be trying to help other people. Because Keith Lee visited Sweetly Seasoned Food Truck in Dallas, for those of you who don't know. Okay. He gave them $4,000 total and told them how to divvy it out. There was someone volunteering. I think her name is Sherelle. Don't quote me on that. I forgot her name. And her brother was cutting hair in the parking lot. Keith Lee told them to give the brother $1,000. Don't quote me on the numbers. 1,000 to Sherelle, and then I think 2,000 to the business, whatever. And he did that at another location as well, another restaurant. Just giving, it was a pay-as-you-go restaurant, and he just gave them $4,000. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Please empower our businesses, especially the ones who are addressing food scarcity, in our communities. But the lady who is now permanently closed at Sweetly Seasoned decided that, this entire $4,000 is going to me and my son, not the people who was helping me out today and the people who Keith Lee actually told me to give the money to. And I just thought that was disgusting because she was doubling down and so was the son. And the only reason she divvied out the money and came back and gave an apology is because Keith Lee was like, yo, that's not what I said. You heard what I said. This is what I said verbatim and how to divvy the money. And it's not right what y'all doing. Now the lady business closed and you on live begging people to come out because you still out there. Girl, you blocked your own blessing. And this was another Black man trying to help you out, your food truck, with the unprofessional sign written in Sharpie. He's trying to help you out, girl, and you being greedy, talking about, oh, well, they not part of my family and they wasn't a part of this from the beginning. What? And this is part of my problem with Black businesses. We don't see scalable opportunities. We don't see the long road. We just be trying to look for a quick buck, and that's it. What you about to do with $4,000, girl?
Do you think it was a good question I have to ask is, do you think, however, one, shout out to Keith Lee. We would love to talk to you. Holler at us, pull up on us anytime, because you know what, like you said, what he's doing is something that God put in his heart. When you give your time and your energy to the well-being of the collective, that's what's going to happen. The ugliness of it is going to come out. That's because he's doing good, right? That's almost like if you are a person that's a Christian, you believe in Christianity, that's what Jesus did. Jesus ain't coming out here and everything was roses. He was spitting game, and he was putting flashlights on the corruption, right? And so I would say, not to say that Keith Lee is anything Jesus like, but that's just an example of what happens when you are doing something for the betterment of humanity and for society as a individual, because God put that in your heart to give. And you, on the opposite end of that, choose to not do what you're supposed to do with it. It comes to light almost every time. At some point in time, it's going to come to light. And so I think that when you think about $4,000, in all fairness to this woman and her son, that is a lot of money for people right now. This country right now got people real broken, hungry. The inflation is out of control. I mean, it is the worst. It is so economically disparaging when you think about the wealthy and the non-existent middle class, which has been disappearing for at least a decade. And so when you say something like, well, it's just $4,000 to her and her son, that probably was like
personally, yes. And that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that is not personally a lot of money. I mean, give me $4,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. What I'm saying is,
I love $4,000.
When we're thinking strategically in business, ruining your business over $4,000 is not worth it to me. And
did I hear you say that the business is now permanently closed.
Yeah, that's what I read yesterday.
See that. I think that's kind of a story in itself. Like, you closed. Keith Lee came to do all this for you, highlight your business and all this stuff. And because you did something wrong, now you closed.
Right.
Well, I mean, my understanding of what Keith Lee does is he goes to businesses that are not that I mean, they can either be family owned, right, super established, but they're never a chain or anything of that nature. So I don't think her
Right,
business
mom and pop.
closing is I don't think it's of that much subsequence other than they may open up next month, right? So that's why I'm saying is I think that the $4,000 was a lifeline, because why would you risk if she got the money knowing she was going to close anyways, which that's what it seems like, that she was going to have to close her doors anyways.
No, I don't think
Then
that's what.
I don't know what happened, right? So I'm saying from the perspective of why what could be, you always want to give someone some kind of grace, right, when something like this happens, because like you said, at the end of the day, we see this time and time again in Black culture where somebody's blessed with something and they don't do what they're supposed to do with the blessing. Now they done inadvertently block their blessing, done hurt their main thing, it be a business, a relationship, a family member, something. And then ultimately, because of the scrutiny they get from the public, they end up backtracking. I mean, we see this constantly over and over and over again. And that comes from the advocacy of the person that's being victimized in that situation, which is why they had to give the money back. If the individuals that were victimized here didn't speak up, right, try
Exactly.
to keep it player, then it would have been, they would have never seen that money, right? And so that's why I say I really try to look at, okay, what could be the reasons why? Because like you said, it's not great business practice at all as Black people. You can't want to just run over your brother and your sister with lawnmowers, right? That's what our issue where we were talking earlier on the live in regards to Nicki Minaj. Like, girl, why are you running down Black women? Stop.
Yeah,
Stop. You
that's what I'm
can't,
saying.
you cannot. There is no friendly beef in running down somebody with a lawnmower. Because when you do that, they're never the same. And so, like you just said, as a best business practice, when you do something like that to people who they now become victimized, how does that experience traumatize them moving forward when trying to earn and make money for themselves in a space where they love, where they're happy and they're fulfilled, right? Because nine
Yeah,
times out of 10, a lot of times when he goes to these places, people do this because it's their passion. And y'all
right.
know, I run into all these kind of businesses all the time, and I deploy capital from my own personal money all the time, because if you're doing something that you personally love and you're passionate about, I don't care if I ever see that again. I just want to help. I want to make sure you can keep that going, period.
Yeah,
So, that's why I say when you think about the $4,000, I really got kind of stuck on that, because when we think about the economics of America currently, people are hungry, B. They hungry. It's bad out here, and ain't
they
no telling
are,
what people gonna do.
but I can't give you grace for stepping on your own people who are trying to help you and elevate you so that you're not out here hungry just for a quick check. Like, and these are people that helped you. And for you to be doubling down saying, well, you ain't always here. That don't matter. I'm here today. I brought you the followers today. 30, 40 people pulled up today. And I was here helping you. So I can't give you grace. Yes, it's hard out here, but it's hard out here for everybody. So are we all just supposed to just step on each other's toes just to make it? Because when the real culprit is white people and rich people hoarding wealth, I can't give you grace there, because you wouldn't have had 50 people in your parking lot today had it not been for me. You wouldn't have came up.
Right. And
$1,000+ if it wasn't for me.
right. And I think you're giving the math, you know, as a math person, you're giving the math ain't mathing part. But I think I'm starting to, when we think about how we're going to revolutionize the way people think, we have to have space for it. What I'm saying, you know, when we're talking about how are people going to move forward, because all they're going to keep doing is doing it over and over and over again, right? Because they don't see, it's the backtracking that really upsets me, right? Is when they backtrack and say, "Oh, we didn't mean it was a
Exactly.
miscommunication." No, own up to
No,
what you did. Take ownership.
correct.
Like,
And
take
that could have saved your business. You know what? I messed up. I really appreciate all the people that came out here to help me, you know, whatever. Give a heartfelt speech. She still had an attitude in the video. I've been trying to call her to come get her money, but it's like you didn't want to give it up. So you didn't even learn a lesson, and you did not see the partnership as valuable. And this is what ruins a lot of our businesses, is a lack of long-term planning and strategic thinking. Yeah, I'm fucked up now, but when I blow through this $4,000 in the next month and now I ain't got no business, now what?
right. And then you bring up a even exceptional part to it is, and this is the premise of 40 acres and a mule, is the strategic thought behind it and long-term
Right.
vision and planning. They
Correct.
had no plan to do, they had nothing in the box. There was nothing in the tank when it came to the blacks when they let us go. They had nothing in the tank. And furthermore, they thought we couldn't be in, they thought that we needed the plan too. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Where that's why, even when you think about how the creation of 40 Acres and Mule came about, came from Black leaders, they freed us in name and deed only, right? And this is what you're talking about, is y'all out here and how y'all are dealing with people, Black people are dealing with people in business. Y'all need to get free of this scarcity mindset and walk
Yeah.
into a place of abundance like Keith Lee. Because if you walk in a place of abundance, you don't go around holding things from other people. You walk around with your hands open, and you walk around giving constantly. I mean, there's no endlessness to it. And what you find when you even get around the super wealthy, right, is that's exactly what they do. They operate at a place of giving.
Yeah.
The Gates Foundation gives, Melinda gives almost half of her stuff away, all of her money
Yes.
every
Some of
year.
them. Some of them.
The true meaning of abundance, you have more than you need.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's why, and right, and so that's why I say, when we think about grace in situations like this, is when you don't have what you need, whew, child,
yeah,
ain't
you
no
operate.
telling what you gonna do.
And I want us to just stop. I guess the wrapping it up. I just want us to stop operating from a place of struggle and move into the abundance mindset. Yes, I have $4,000 today, but how can I use this $4,000 to get me to $100,000 at the end of the year? Maybe I'll make it that far, but maybe
Let me
I'll make
hold
it
a
to
dollar.
20K. What you say, Doug?
Let me hold a dollar.
Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying 4K ain't a lot. I could use 4K right now, but I want us to stop, to move from, oh, I see a dollar and let me grab it real fast, versus how can I use this dollar to make me more dollars down the line? So I had another question, but we're gonna leave that for the next time. I think we gave the listeners enough. I'm gonna bring back shot o'clock again to end it. Let's take a shot. Black people, we're not struggling no more. I mean, we are, but we can move into a place of abundance if we start thinking strategically and we allow each other to help each other out instead of stepping on each other and taking advantage when we just trying to help, because we all effed up. None of us got 40 acres or a mule, okay?
I just want y'all to know that
40
on the
acres and a
decibel,
mule sound
yeah,
nice right now.
yeah, I was gonna say, I want y'all to know that the decibel level for twin right now has reached all the way into the red.
Yeah, y'all
Because
gonna know when twin worked up.
yeah. So I'm taking my shot today, in line with that. Ask for help, because at the end of the day, being down bad, everybody has a point in their life where they're struggling. And if that's in your mindset, and you have it and you have it and you don't know how to give, or you don't have it and you don't know how to get it, stop, breathe, thank God for what you do have, which is your life, and ask for help. I promise you, God will help you. I'm a true believer in it. That's the first step in thinking of abundance, thinking in that mindset. Because at the end of the day, the birds, if you're a Christian, these are biblical principles. The birds wake up every morning, they don't worry about where they're getting their next meal from. Most plants and animals, they get their nutrients from the universe, from the earth. Okay? They don't get up, you never seen a flower just get up struggling. I mean, unless they ain't got no water, right? But you guys
Yeah.
understand the concept is, if you just ask Black people, I assure you that's the first step in moving forward into an abundant mindset. What you got, Ada?
As far
What
as
you taking your shot on?
I got straight black coffee in honor of Black History Month.
Love it.
Me too.
My shot is going to be in honor of our first live. I think this went lovely. I had a blast today. I hope everybody listening had a blast as well.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out to us for taking this leap. This has been an endeavor for us.
Yeah,
It's been a long time coming.
yeah, it's been
And
a long
the
time coming.
viewers don't know. Maybe there's a couple people that do know. Just the trial, tribulations, the renditions. But this is what you do when you go through, or when you're trying to start something new and fresh, and get your feet off the ground. So shout to that for me.
Shout out to y'all. Thanks, fam. Let's just
Yeah.
let the listeners know we have a special Valentine's episode.
Yeah, we're gonna be on the mics 1 2 and 1 2 and for Black love. I do believe it exists, like them fat M&Ms. So hey, the peanut ones. I like a little dark chocolate too. So I really, really can't wait for us to talk
Gross.
all things. Yeah, Black love. Yeah, because it does exist. As one of the cousins that doesn't have has not experienced it yet, but the ancestors have promised me that my big love is on its way. So I am not worried. I will not stress. I will not strain. I will just be open to the possibilities. And so I
Yes.
can't wait to talk about Black love, and I can't wait to wrap up the rest of the month with y'all. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We really appreciate y'all taking the time to dial in. It's crazy because, like you said, Dub, on a live, we get to see people popping in and popping out, and we just appreciate y'all for even just even seeing the social media, seeing our Instagram and our Twitter, and just coming in and hollering at us. We really, really, really do appreciate it. So please follow us to stay updated and stay tuned. We are on Twitter at Call Your Cousins. That's CALLYOURCOUSINS. And we're on Instagram at Call Your Cousins Pod. That's CALLYOURCOUSINSPOD. And yeah, this is our YouTube at Call Your Cousins. That's CALLYOURCOUSINS. And any feedback, listen, we would love to hear from y'all. Share your story with us, ask your cousins, join the conversation, hit us up in the community at our email address, which is CALLYOURCOUSINSPOD@gmail.com. And with that, we'll catch y'all later.
Love you. Ew.
We cousins, but we all cousins too. So, tap in. Y'all be blessed.
Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Bye.